Hi folks, and welcome back to Old School Studios. So my floor's in the kitchen. I'd say it looks pretty good all in all. So a couple projects I have left here is I need shoe molding in all of this room. And my guy is coming to sand this floor this week, so I was gonna paint my shoe molding. I need about 10 to 15 strips to do this area, this living room, so I'm going to get those painted along with these. Another project I got going here is I started a tub surround in the bathroom, but I'm putting a new faucet in. So we're going to do the Moen Adler just like we do everywhere else. I gotta change out the pipes from the basement because it's 1/2-inch galvanized and I need to bring copper up. And the shower head line is galvanized. And the cold water is galvanized and we're getting rid of that. So what I'm going to do is to cover all this up, I'm just going to put a piece of 1/4-inch Luan over this and paint it white and then put the shelves back in. And we needed an access panel. So down the basement, show you what I have going. Oh, I'm about to get going. I had to go round up stuff all morning. I was supposed to fix a crack in a fiberglass tub surround, and the lady said, well, I told the office that I had to go to work and I'm going to have a baby in 1 month and I don't want no mess. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so what I'm going to do is remove this union and remove this 1/2-inch nipple. And I'm going to shut the whole water off and put a new 1/2-inch shut-off, 1/4-tune shut-off valve. So from there I could remove this T. I could cut this. That's getting yanked from in copper. And I could, I bought the 1/2-inch copper male to screw back down into here. And then a 1/2-inch male to screw into here, and a brand new 1/4-turn shutoff valve. So for the most part, rebuilding this whole area and bringing copper up for the cold water into the, I'm sorry, it's hot water. I was looking at it the opposite way. It's the hot water line that's galvanized coming off the hot water tank here. Wait a minute. Oh no, that is cold water. It's coming in from the water main, and this is the feed line for going in. Okay, so I was right the first time. It was cold, it's hot. It's cold water. It's a cold water line. So, without further ado, the first thing I'm going to do is get those 1/4 round pieces painted so I could put those in the kitchen and get the living room cleaned out so flooring sanding guy could come and make his disaster mess that I'll have to clean up and fix. Alright, I'll show you when I get these all set up. The paint in this house, the trim molding, is before we started using oil, and it's ultra white Valspar signature semi-gloss. So I had 20 pieces already painted sitting over at the building, but they were in oil base, so I picked these up. I'm going to paint 16 of them. I think that's more than enough to do this, just from my general quick count. It's this little hallway, this living room, this wall here around the base of the kitchen, behind there, so that should be plenty. So I am doing a house 2 streets over, and it's a complete remodel, so I will use all this leftover cabinets and trim molding, and all the kitchen will be exactly the same over there. I mean, different layout, but same cabinets, same backsplash. That'll be a video coming up as soon as this one is back on the market. Alright, so I'm going to give these a painting. I'm going to use a sponge roller and try to lay it on a nice thin coat. It's already been primered, so I just need to give it the color and the gloss. And back at you in a flash here. Alright, so this is all coated. Looks really nice. I picked out some of the better ones out of the bundle. They're at least nice and straight. Some of them were bananaed. They do have a nice sheen on them. So the next thing I'm going to do is go down and shut the water main off, and I guess start disassembling this. I'm gonna have to shut the whole house off. I'm not gonna have water for a while. Look what dude did to the bathtub. He was washing shit in there from this gray paint, and he never, he just left it. Now he's gonna have to get down there on his hands and knees and scrub this shit. If I have to end up doing that, I'm gonna not be happy. I got paint in my mustache. Alright, let's go down the basement and see if this is what we want to start doing at this time of day. Spent all morning rounding up crap for a tub, a fiberglass tub. I got resin and fiberglass, and I was going to sand it down and inject underneath the tub with foam so it's sturdy, and re-fiberglass the crack, and then recoat the tub. I mean, I was going to make it look like brand new again. And the lady who, one of our renters, she's actually a good renter. She's been there like 4 years, 5 years. She's about to have a baby and she wants a whole new tub. I was like, do you know what kind of a disaster that's going to be up on the second floor? You have a tub downstairs. Use the downstairs tub for a while. I don't know, it's up to her. Whatever. So, let's see. Is that gonna shut off? Yeah, if I shut this off, I'm gonna have to, I'm not gonna have any water in the bathroom. I am gonna have water in the kitchen sink though. So, oh no, I won't. I have to shut the whole water main off. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. So I discovered these new things. They're called Blue Monster. Might have showed this in a previous episode, but you put your drill on low speed, and look at that, just a blink of an eye. That thing is as clean as you could get it. I would normally get cramps in my hands at the end of the day from spinning copper and cleaning copper. And no, these things are great. They were only selling them at Menards, and now they had at Lowe's. I threw the 1/2 inch and 3/4 on the LAR. They're a little bit different. The ones from Menards were a little different. They were probably better than the ones from Lowe's, but and they came with that extra pieces for inside here. The ones from Menards did. The ones from Lowe's didn't come in a package. They're more in a bin over by the plumbing. But I'm glad they finally made it to the shelf because this made my life a lot easier. And I always used to try to rig things up on my drill, homemade things. I should have went and got the patent. No, it's incredible the speed. And then I'll show you something even better. If you go like this, it does the inside of fittings. Let me go grab my fittings. So the insides, this is a female 1/2 inch. Oh, you gotta go in reverse with these, that's I forgot. That's what was different, you gotta go in reverse. If you go in forward, it unthreads this thing. It must be for replacement. That's a good idea too. Tell you what, when you're working with copper, you should have rubber gloves on. Because if you have to take a piss and you touch your balls, man, you'll get the copper balls. Your balls will be itching. And it's all these little micro pieces of copper cling onto your goods. See how quick that was? I've just still been on like the second one. Alright, so I'm going to pull out my Flexi from Biloxi and get all these fluxed up. And we'll be back. Alright, so you put flux, regular paste flux, and do the insides. There's conflicting stories I see of people only putting flux on one side. I put flux on both. Until I don't understand why people only do it on one side. Maybe they just don't feel like doing it, but I was taught to put it on both. I got the big long tube for my shower head. Alright, so we use lead-free solder, or lead-free solder, made in the USA. We're all fluxed up. Use MAP gas, yellow tank. Burns hotter than propane. Alright, let me get set up and I'll show you how we solder these. Okay, here's a little trick that I learned. When you go and solder these, you want them going downhill this way because you don't want any of the solder leaking into these threads. So I always prop these up on something so I'm tilted downhill. This one is going downhill, so I mean it's going to suck the solder up in there, but I don't want any solder getting into these threads because it's wrecked. There's no way of really getting it out of there. You might as well just go buy more copper. So let me get my stuff set up here and I'll be back in a flash cooking these. Alright, let's see if I could get this done without knocking my camera over. It's precariously positioned. I got this little tiny tripod. I forgot my big tripod again. In the bar, in the shop. You see that? We'll do this big one right here first. Put some heat on the pipe first, and then on the fitting. I like to spin the pipe around if possible to make sure that you get it from both sides. Alright, I'm going to set up and I'm going to get this one out of my way. And I got the other three sitting here. See those? All right, here we go, ready to rock and roll. Put a little bit of heat on the pipe first, then the fitting. Okay. Always check the back side. Alright, I'm going to go grab a wet rag and clean this fluxy up so it doesn't make the pipe turn green for the future. And then we're going to start working on the middle one. Gets an elbow and it comes out like this for the tub spout. And we'll work on that. Yeah, these babies are hot still. I'm gonna cool them down. They've already sat here for a minute or so. And ooh, it's hot. But when this cools down, I do want to wipe this black schmutz off here and any flux. Because I found that if you come back a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years, this, anywhere there's flux, it grows green little crystal on the pipe, and I don't like that. So wipe your pipe after you solder it. So I take the Ote Great White Pipe Joint Compound. It's the same as the white Teflon tape. That's what this is, liquid Teflon. And I put it on the threads and I crank these down pretty tight. So now any soldering in this area could be wrapped with a cold wet cloth, and like I'll have to solder right here to bring this pipe out straight for the tub spout. These will have elbows on them heading down, elbow heading down, and the tip of my shower head will be soldered. But this is the whole thing put together, where now I could actually like take this in the closet and make my little measurements. I could take all my measurements as where I need my pipes cut, where my shower head is exactly gonna be, etc. Capiche? Capiche. So that's how I do it. I don't like to solder. I like to solder anything. I mean, I have a puller and I could pull this out of here, but there's no need to solder near this area. Everything could be done, put together, and then wet cloth around it to keep it cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually it's almost 5 o'clock. And maybe I'll just shut the water off here tomorrow. And oh, I forgot to get this needs a washer behind here. I spotted it dripping when the tub was on the other day. I was down in the basement and I tracked down a drip from there. There's a little rubber washer behind that thing, and it sandwiches the overflow up against the back of the tub, and they get crusty. See it a lot in our building. So we'll continue this project here with shutting off the water and disassembling the old spout. Alright, so I went ahead and I put this elbow on in my tub spout, and it's in perfect parallel with this and this. So it'll help me line everything up when I start getting it fit into the wall. You see how I wrap a wet cloth around the whole brass area? There's no way that heat could generate past this wet rag. It just... And I go ahead and wipe this clean here. Like all these were wiped clean and there's no flux left on them. Alright, let's get that done.